Tonight's movie proves that even billionaires can have problems. Tonight we're talking Ransom.
And now, our feature presentation.
Fussy, who hired this crew?
What's your favorite scary movie?
I'm smart, you're dumb. I'm big, you're little. I'm right, you're wrong.
Show me the money!
Are you too good for your home? Answer me!
Baby, you are so money and you don't even know it.
Yeah, I thought this was good.
Oh, boys! I'm back!
Welcome in, everyone, to 52/1996. We're a live movie conversation podcast where we take a look back 30 years ago and dig into the films of 1996, one movie at a time. I'm your host, Cody, and this week I'm joined by a brand new co-host, first time on the show, Michelle, as we break down the movie Ransom. Welcome in, Michelle.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah, we are excited to have you here. Before we were live, I was talking to her and saying how much I like when new people come on here. It's a lot more fun because I get to know you a little bit better, and I like to find out how everybody's past with movies and what they like. You get to know a lot about a person just based on some of the questions about what's their favorite movie, things like that. But and I will be asking you those questions here very shortly. But if this is your first time hanging out with us, welcome in. We're happy to have you here. The idea is pretty simple. Every week, for 52 weeks, we revisit a different movie released in 1996. We talk about scenes, lines, standout performances, trivia, and if it survives, maybe a modern watch. And we're finishing up our theme this month. We had our blockbuster theme, make it a blockbuster night, spotlighting those big budget movies from the year 1996. But before we jump into this week's movie, I want to talk to you, Michelle, and ask you some of the questions. I had sent you some questions over just to get to know you a little bit better. So I will go ahead and start with the main question, the one that's often the hardest question. So I give you a little bit of an out here, but what's your favorite movie? Or is there a top 5 or certain movies that you really enjoy? Don't want to hold you to one just because I can never do it. So
It's a really tough question for me, and I usually can't give an answer because movies, different times of the year, movies mean something. I love Christmas movies, Christmas Vacation, It's a Wonderful Life. All of those movies have their special meaning for me. And I typically don't like to rewatch movies. So they hold a place because of the sentimental attachment I had at the time. And I'm afraid if I rewatch them, they might not hit the same way. So but I did scribble down a few because once I started thinking about it, they kind of started popping into my head. But I went through a Robert Redford phase when I was young, and I liked All the President's Men, 3 Days of the Condor, Jeremiah Johnson. Those were all, favorites for me. I was really into sci-fi too for a while. I loved The Stepford Wives. I thought that was just an amazing movie. The original, yeah. Yeah. And then more like I've always liked war movies. So Deer Hunter, really, that's a tough one. Schindler's List is a movie that I would put in the top. And then I have this side where I love musicals: Wizard of Oz, Moulin Rouge, the not the play version, that stage version I don't think is as good because it doesn't honor the music from the movie. More recently, Sinners I thought was a fabulous movie. So that's a really broad.
Yeah, no, I love that though, and that brings up a good point. Like. And I feel like I've fallen into that. I do rewatch a lot of movies, and of course I'm very nostalgic. So that's why I have this, is because I want to, go back to the 90s and rewatch some of these movies. I love watching older movies as well. But yeah, some of the movies that I've grew up loving, we've done on this podcast, and I'm like, I probably should have just left that one alone and not watched it because it kind of ruined some things for me. But I love all those. I mean, I've seen most of what you said on there. I have not seen 3 Days of the Condor. It is on the list, my ever growing list. Yeah, my mom was a big Robert Redford fan as well. I was, Robert Redford's amazing. I love, I think I have Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid behind me. I love The Sting. The Sting is so good. And he's just he was great for so long.
A great human too.
Yeah.
And I actually was lucky enough to go to the Sundance Film Festival in 2024. So he wasn't, I got there on the later end because it was cheaper. If you went early, when all the big parties were happening, it was more expensive. So I went with my friend later. So he was long gone. But it was still kind of cool to go to that and see him. Steven saying The Sting. I did make Steven and Natalia. I don't know if everybody knows who Steven and Natalia are, but Steven obviously is your good childhood friend, still friend. My son-in-law, Natalia's my daughter. I made them watch The Sting a couple visits ago when I was out, and I was very nervous about that one because I saw that when I was 10. That tells you how old I am. And I was worried it wasn't going to just hit the same way, and I loved it, and I think they liked it too. So that one held up for me.
Yeah, that movie is, I think it's done by the same guy that did Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, Roy Hill, right?
Yeah, Roy Hill.
Yeah. Classic movie. It's a lot longer than I thought it was going to be, but I just think their dynamic together, Paul Newman and Robert Redford together, are just a duo that is. I'm trying to think of a modern duo, and the only ones I can think of is maybe George Clooney and Brad Pitt, the Ocean's movies.
Close.
That's kind of the closest that we've ever got to that kind of chemistry. They're amazing, but The Sting is so good.
And the music, I love
the music.
I love
the
Scott
ragtime.
Joplin. I play the piano. I learned all those, not super well, but I learned those songs when I was a kid. I mean, I just really have a lot of attachment to that.
I love that. I love that. So, okay, here's another question for you. Do you remember the first movie that you watched? It doesn't have to be a theater experience. It doesn't any of that. But do you remember?
Well, Scary, you should remember that because I am the age I am, there were no movies at home really. Sometimes you'd see things on TV, but primarily you would go to the theater to see a movie. And I honestly don't know what the first movie I ever saw was, but I do remember being very young and seeing 2001: A Space Odyssey. I was maybe 4 or 5, and I did not know what was happening. I remember just being like, this is weird. And then at the end, when all of the lights are, going by and they're going through I still don't, I've never even watched that whole movie now. I should probably watch it now. But that's the first movie I really remember seeing.
That is a very interesting movie for a 4-year-old to watch. I'm 40 and I'm still don't know if I could tell you exactly everything that happens in that movie. I love that movie. But wow, as a 4-year-old, that's got to be something else.
It's crazy. My mom took me to a lot of movies. My whole family has always been big movie people.
Big movie goers.
So she would take me to things that I probably wasn't old enough to see. But I saw Jaws when I was, I guess, 10. That was scary, but I loved it.
That's great. No, that's awesome. I love this. So you talked about Robert Redford. Is he your favorite actor, or are there other actors that you're more drawn to?
If I look back at older actors from the day, big influences were Al Pacino. I loved the Godfather movies, and all of these actors that I mentioned, I had huge crushes on. So Robert Redford, Paul Newman, Al Pacino.
70s Al Pacino's a hottie.
He was, and what happened to him? I don't know.
have no idea. He ate a bunch of rocks and then just turned into
stuck in his throat.
Yeah.
Gregory Peck was another one.
Oh my God, Gregory Peck.
Love Gregory Peck. But modern actors, Denzel Washington is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I love Ryan Gosling. I would watch him in anything. Who else? Leonardo DiCaprio. I really like him. Ed Norton's another favorite.
Yeah.
So those are Kevin Kline. I mean, I
love Kevin Kline too.
I just love everybody.
Yeah, we I'm the only one, and maybe you appreciate this, but we did a couple years ago the movie Dave, starring Kevin Kline.
Yes.
I think I'm the only person that likes that movie. It's one of my favorites as a child. I would rewatch it all the time, and it gave me a false sense of what presidents do.
Have you seen A Fish Called Wanda? I'm sure you have.
Yes. Oh yeah.
God. That
Fish Called Wanda. incredible. I think I have it on VHS behind me.
So funny. One of the funniest movies ever.
Yes, love Kevin Kline. He's incredible. I'm trying to watch In and Out soon. I think that comes out in 97, so it might be on the list for next year.
Okay.
But I love In and Out. It's a movie that not too many people have seen.
I don't
but
think I've seen that.
it's a really good movie.
Okay, I'll put that on my list then.
Yeah, In and Out's it's a fun movie. I say it's not probably like the best movie in the world, but it's a fun movie, and I think people should watch it. All right, this one's always the weird one that not everybody likes to answer. But if you could have an actor play you in a movie about your life, who would you want it to be?
Oh, this is easy. Meryl Streep.
Oh, classic. Great choice.
People have said occasionally that I look like her a little bit. She's a little older, but she could pull it off. But I admire her so much. I think she's the most amazing actress. She'd be my choice.
Yeah, I would have Meryl Streep play me in a movie if I could. She would nail it. She would be so good at it. Her, Glenn Close, like they would nail it. I think that Glenn Close is like the second to Meryl Streep.
Yeah.
She's always the bridesmaid, never the bride.
She's so good though. I mean, I've seen her in so many good World According to Garp stands out as a favorite. Yeah. See, I could talk about all the old movies with you because
I love it. I'm a sucker, especially like older movies too. Movies in the 40s, 50s, 60s. I'm a big fan of Jimmy Stewart movie. You were talking about It's a Wonderful Life. I'm a sucker for old movies too. Not as many Westerns. I have seen a ton of Westerns, but like my dad made me watch a lot of older Westerns, Eastwood and Gary Cooper and stuff like that. But yeah, I can talk about old movies all day. I love
old movies too. I'm not a big fan of the Westerns either so much, but there are a couple that I did enjoy. I was also kind of forced to watch because it was one TV in the house. Everybody sat down and watched the same movie. So
Yep, that's exactly it. Whenever I'd go over to my grandpa's house or even my dad on a weekend when he wasn't working or doing something, it was always like, we're watching what he's watching, and it's probably going to be a Western. So or something John Wayne or Clint Eastwood, we're watching it. So it's good. Now, do you have any hot takes on movies? Like movies that everybody, like this could be, I'm sure you have something written down, but this could be some like a movie that everybody loves that you just actually despise, or actors or anything like that you would say is like a hot take.
You know what? I didn't prepare for this one, so this is a little tough. Nomad. Did you remember Nomad?
The Nomad Land?
No, just Nomad. With Frances
McDormand.
I think it won the Oscar for Best Film. It was like a COVID movie. I hated that movie. I just thought it was so dismal, and not that I mind the subject matter being grim. I just hated it. I hated that movie, and I think it won that year. That one. Oof, I don't know.
Yeah.
Steven said, "Oh, I'm supposed to say I didn't like Obsession."
Oh, she didn't like it. That is a hot take. That's a popular one right now. I've not seen it yet. So
okay, well, that one I didn't love, but I did like Backrooms.
Okay, you like Backrooms, not Obsession.
Backrooms,
okay,
not Obsession. Yeah.
I need to watch both of those, and then I can form my opinion. I am so this year has been really bad for me. I don't know why. I haven't been to the theater. I did see Project Hail Mary in theaters, but I have not been to the theaters as much as I would like to, or usually get to the theaters. Even last year, I think Sinners was one of the only movies I saw in theaters. I was glad to have seen it in theaters, but I haven't really done it. Went out and seen a lot of movies in theaters, and I just wait until they come. I have like pretty much all the streaming services, and I know that's not the way you should watch movies, but
you got to catch them how you can. But I have a better answer for you if it's not too late.
No, please.
Everybody loves The Greatest Showman. I hate that movie. I hate that movie.
You are not alone, and that's great that you say that. I like that movie. I enjoy that movie. I don't think it's a great movie, but I showed it to my fiance, and she was like, "I don't get it. Like,
good.
This is not good." So you are not alone in that camp. But I do love that you said that, because she doesn't like it. There she is.
There she is.
She did. She's like, I just don't get the hype around it. Okay, what's the best thing that you've watched recently?
So recently I wrote down my recent movies because I always forget that too. I saw Toy Story 5. I liked that a lot. I actually really enjoyed that. And that could be nostalgia because I think, that was one of the first movies my kids saw in theaters.
Mhm.
The Invite, I just saw that this week. That was
Ooh,
really interesting.
I'm
It's
interested in that
Seth
one.
Rogen, and I really liked that. That was one of the, as far as acting, one of the best movies I've seen in a long time. What's four just stellar actors and kind of an unexpected, story about marriage and
Mhm.
what how tough marriage is and what couples go through and things, their twists. And I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I wanna see that. I love Olivia Wilde.
Yeah.
I actually liked the last 2 movies that she did, even though, like, Booksmart was her first one that she did, and it's an amazing movie. I love that, 5 stars, comedy. I think it's great, but her second one is that, oh god, I can't even remember what it's
I don't
called.
know if I know.
It's but a lot of people did not like that movie, and I
Okay.
really ended up enjoying it. It's got a sci-fi thing to it.
Okay.
Florence Pugh's in it, she's
Oh,
amazing.
I love Florence Pugh.
Yeah, she's so good in it
I'll
too.
write down.
Don't Worry, Darling is what it's called. Thank you, chat.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't worry, darling. Oh, I loved that movie. That was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
It was, I mean, I know a lot of people slammed it, but I loved the 60s nostalgia and the story was actually kind of cool. I thought it was
Yeah.
pretty good.
I thought it was unique. I think she's a great director. And yeah. So I'm looking forward to The Invite. I want to see that one.
I think you'll enjoy it. I didn't know she directed so many music videos.
Yeah.
That was it. I had no idea. And I do you know Alamo Drafthouse Cinema?
Mhm.
So here we have an Alamo. That's the only place I'll go because I can recline my seat and get popcorn and wine delivered to me. And anyway, they show, reels and stuff before, and they were showing all these music videos she directed. So that was news to me. I had no idea. They
I
were
think
good.
I think some of our best directors are like even ones today are come from the music video world. Like I think David Fincher comes to mind. He directed a bunch of music videos in the 80s and early 90s, and now he's one of my favorite directors
Okay.
out there. So I love that, like coming from starting with music videos and working your way into film and stuff. So no, that's a good entry point for them. So I didn't know
Yeah.
that about Olivia Wilde. So that's interesting. Is there anything that you're looking forward to that's coming out this year?
Well, I want to see the Odyssey.
Yeah,
Um,
same.
it's, I shouldn't wait too much longer. I do like to see, things in, if I can see it in Dolby and, the biggest screen I can. And that doesn't, I live in a small town, so the movies go pretty quickly. So I need to get in there and see that maybe this week.
Yeah, your theater does that Alamo Draft House have an IMAX screen?
They don't have IMAX. No, there
Mm.
is an IMAX theater in town, but I hate the theater. It's a Regal.
Yeah,
And it's just run down, and I just don't like the experience there. Alamo's my favorite. I
yeah,
won't go unless it's at Alamo.
yeah. I don't blame you. Some of the like AMC's and stuff, they're the only ones. They're the only game in town, and you just have to suffer through some of
Right.
that stuff. It's unfortunate though, because I do miss some of those nicer theaters that have closed down since. So
Steven says AMC is superior. I'm just think I'm spoiled because Alamo just makes it such a
Alamo,
fun
yeah,
overall experience. They
yeah,
have movie parties, so they'll show an older film, and it'll be like a Sunday matinee kind of thing. And then they have props and themed food, and it's really fun.
yeah. Well, I don't want to leave people hanging here
Yes.
because, but first, before we get into talking about Ransom and the movie Ransom, I gotta figure out your name. People always come in here with their little nicknames. I've got mine. I do it every week. I think it's a fun thing to do. When yours popped up, I was like, this is great already. But tell people what it's about because I don't want them thinking like I gave you this nickname or something.
I was worried you're just avoiding it, like the woman is
No,
crazy,
not
I'm
at all.
even gonna address it. Um, so in 2006, I don't know if everyone knows this or not, but Mel Gibson was pulled over for a DUI, and he was belligerent and combative, and he looked at the female African American police officer and said to her, "What are you looking at, sugar tits?" And it made like big news that he called this cop sugar tits. And I just like that was sort of the beginning of where, well, maybe even earlier, but where Mel Gibson went from a hero in my book, movie god, to just like a lunatic, and that sort of, I guess, solidified it. So, but I think Sugar Ticks is funny. So
Yes, very funny and very was not expecting. I texted Steven like right away, and I was like, did not expect that nickname to come out of there. So good, I love it. And yeah, you're absolutely right. Like, was this your first time watching Ransom?
No, I saw it when it came out, and I
Okay.
can't remember if I, saw it in the theater or rented the probably VHS. I don't, who knows?
Yeah. Well, a lot of people went to see this in theaters, so if you did see it in theaters, I wouldn't be surprised about it. But like watching this and watching any of the Mel Gibson movies that we have watched over the last few years, it's like heartbreaking a little bit. Because you watch these movies where, like Maverick, I loved Maverick as growing up. It was I think Mel Gibson's hilarious. I think he's very funny, charming, handsome. Like he's got all these things. And then I was watching Ransom, and even at the beginning of this movie, he's very charming. And I was like, oh, I miss that Mel Gibson.
I agree, definitely. I think he's another one of those actors that falls into major crush territory for me. And when I saw him in The Bounty, I thought I had never seen a more beautiful man in my life. And he's, half naked most of the movie. So it was pretty captivating. So that kind of really got me going on Mel Gibson. And, Lethal Weapon was just, favorite of my ex-husband and I. We loved that movie, and his dad loved it. I mean, we watched all of those movies, and The Patriot and Braveheart. I mean, Braveheart was such an amazing movie.
Yeah.
So it's sad to me, Passion of the Christ. I was definitely over him by then. I didn't even go see that, but
yeah. It's like two halves of a career, and you want to celebrate one half of it, but that all those bad things that he's done or said or any of it was a part of him in the beginning. We didn't know. We didn't know. We didn't care. We have way more access to all these things like that DUI arrest. We have so much more access to things like that. So it's is ignorance bliss to not know that your heroes are.
It does change the filter for how you watch a movie, because I remember how I felt when I saw this. I didn't remember the details of the movie really well, but I remember, he was definitely, I loved it. I thought he was amazing. I didn't question any of his acting choices. And this time I had a different, it was hard to remove who I think of him now from the way I viewed the film. So.
Yeah, it is tough. And that's when we did Braveheart last year, it was the same thing. Like trying to watch it through a 2026 lens is really hard when you're watching these things. Like you can't go back and watch the Cosby Show in the same way anymore.
Oh my
because
gosh.
And that was like a staple in my house, was watching the Cosby Show every night. And now I have to watch, or if I don't watch it, but if I saw it on TV, I have to go, oh, there's something sinister behind it, and don't love it at all. Joseph says, anybody see Monster Summer a few years ago? I did not. That's not one.
I haven't even heard of it.
Yeah. And I assume that's a Mel Gibson movie. Yeah. So, not your first time watching Ransom, but we're watching it. We watched it again, and let's learn a little bit more about it before we get into our categories. So, the movie is called Ransom. It came out November 8th, 1996. It is directed by Ron Howard. This is his third time on our podcast. We did The Paper and Apollo 13 the last couple of years. And this was written by Richard Price and Alexander Ignon. Richard Price, we've seen on here a couple more times as well. He wrote the movie Clockers and Mad Dog in Glory, which we watched in 93 and 95, I think. And then this is based on an old movie, 1956 movie called Ransom, and a TV play from the 50s called Fearful Decision. I think it combined both of those. And the cast includes Mel Gibson as Tom Mullen, Renee Russo as Kate Mullen, Gary Sinise as Jimmy Shaker, Delroy Lindo as Lonnie Hawkins, Lily Taylor as Maris Connor, Liev Schreiber as Clark Barnes, Evan Handler as Miles Roberts, Donnie Wahlberg in here briefly as Cubby Barnes, Brawley Nolte as Sean Mullen, Dan Hedaya as Jackie Brown, and Paul Guilfoyle as FBI Director Stan Wallace. If you didn't get a chance to see this movie, because it's very hard to find streaming anywhere, I do apologize, audience. But if you didn't get a chance, the synopsis is: through a life of hard work, airline owner Tom Mullen has amassed a great deal of wealth. When a group of criminals want a piece of his cash, they kidnap his son for a $2 million ransom. Encouraged by his wife, an FBI agent, Tom prepares to pay the money, but the ransom drop goes awry. Enraged, Tom decides to turn the tables on the kidnappers by making his ransom a bounty on their heads, which he announces on national television. This movie had a budget of $70 million and made $309 million globally and $136 million domestically, making it the number 5 movie of 1996, which is kind of crazy to me. Because this is, I mean, it's a thriller. Obviously, you have a big name in Mel Gibson, who's like the hottest actor. Maybe Tom Cruise might be the next hottest actor at this point. But like a movie like this to be the number 5 movie of the year is kind of crazy to me.
I think, being, I was, a young adult. I had kids. Natalia and Nikolai were born already, but Mel Gibson was unshakable. I mean, nobody had a bad thing to say about Mel Gibson. And I guess Tom Cruise was the same at that time, but Mel Gibson seemed more serious then, to me, at least. And I think it was his star power that brought people in.
Yeah. And it's one of those things too that I've repeated on the show. I think that some like dramas and because this often feels a little bit more drama than thriller. There's a thriller aspect to it, but like they used to do really well at the theaters. You can't get that now. Like a movie like The Invite's not going to do any numbers at the box office. It'll be great, but people aren't going to go out to see it in the numbers that people are seeing Independence Day. Or right. Twister, big blockbuster, like action sequences, things like that. I watched a couple weeks ago because I'm doing a self-challenge for myself to watch 31 movies this month. And I watched Kramer versus Kramer.
Oh my gosh, I love that movie.
Amazing movie. That was the first time I'd ever seen it.
Oh.
But so good. And it's about divorce, and it's about a man just coming to terms with now his wife has left him with his child, and great movie. That was the number 1 movie in 1980.
Was it really? Wow. Okay.
Like did crazy numbers box office wise. That was the number 1 movie, and that shocked me.
I think Meryl Streep, I think that was her first film.
Yeah. I can't remember. That was her first like starring, I think.
Okay.
One. Like
so she wasn't a big well-known star at that point, but she was definitely captivating. And I think she won an Oscar for that. Mm-hmm.
And Deer Hunter, I think she was in Deer Hunter, but very small role.
Yeah.
With her husband at the time. Because John Cazale's amazing. And I think 5 movies, and they were all nominated for Best Picture.
Amazing.
Yeah, he's a great actor. This movie is, generally well liked by critics. It has a 68% on Rotten Tomatoes, 6.6 out of 10 on IMDb, and a 3.3 out of 5 on Letterboxd. Roger Ebert liked this movie pretty well. He gave it 3 out of 4 stars. He said Howard is a director who specializes in movies about tension within large groups of people, including Backdraft, Apollo 13, and The Paper. Here again, he chooses a large canvas and fills it with a lot of characters. The movie would have benefited from a tight rewrite. It is too ambitious and including plot threads it doesn't really have time to deal with, but Gibson's strong central performance speeds it along. And the Steve Davis of the Austin Chronicle gave it 1 out of 5 stars. He said even the most hackneyed of plot devices couldn't overshadow the bad taste this movie's politics leave in your mouth. So this movie did not get any Oscar nominations. Mel Gibson did get a Golden Globe nomination for it, did not win, but that's much of the legacy that there is. I think there was a TV show. I don't think it was very loosely based, I think, on this whole premise of it. Lasted a few years, but doesn't have too much to do with this movie. And it's very hard to find on streaming services. So I do apologize again, people. But let's go ahead and talk about our movie. What are some of the scenes that really stuck out to you from this movie?
Well, I think when the movie pivots from him cooperating with what the FBI is saying, and all of a sudden it's like, you know what? Now this is a bounty on your head, and um, I just want my son back. I think that's to me where the movie completely pivots. So that scene I thought was pretty good. The scene at the end, and that's the one scene I really remember from this movie, is when Sean hears the voice of Gary Sinise, the kidnapper, and he's terrified. And I remember that scene. That
Yeah.
really made a big impact on me when I saw it the first time. And that, I mean, you can just, that the terror in that poor little boy, it really conveys well. And I thought that was a good moment, because then you're thinking, okay, how does Mel Gibson handle this without giving away the fact that his son is there, and so he's got to protect his son, but he wants to appease get this guy the money, but get him. I mean, so many different things going on, and I thought that was probably my favorite scene in the movie.
Yeah, that I kind of like you. The scene that I remember two scenes pretty specifically, but like the one where he goes on television and offers the bounty, like it's a pretty, that's the pivotal point where he's like, hey, I'm gonna do my own thing and not listen to a single person that's telling me what to do here. Even if Delroy Lindo's like, hey man, pay them 70% of the time, it works. That's not good enough odds, I guess, for Mel Gibson's character in this. And his wife is like, please just pay them. And I feel so bad for the Rene Russo character the entire time in this
Me
movie.
too.
And then the scene right before Gary Sinise kind of flips on everybody, where you think that Sean is killed by Gary Sinise in that moment, and he shouts the big line, give me back my son. And then you see Mel Gibson like collapse on the balcony of his penthouse. And I remember that pretty vividly, along with the one scene that you're talking about as well. I honestly thought when I was getting this movie, I was like, I think Gary Sinise is the bad guy, but I don't know if we find that out till much later. And I was definitely wrong about that. You find that out pretty early on. He's a bad guy in this movie. So anything else that like sticks out to you?
I really struggled with Rene Russo's character. She seems so weak, and
Yes.
there's a lot of focus on her hair. Like, in the beginning, she had that really straight. Her hair was nice, looked good, but then right in the middle of all the calls they're getting from the kidnappers and everything, all of a sudden she has this beautiful curly hair, like she spent hours getting her hair done.
Mhm.
I just thought that was so. It distracted me, and it was super unrealistic. She's not going to shower, probably. She doesn't want to miss the phone calls. So I just felt like she was sort of dressing, set dressing to the.
I agree. I agree so much. That is like one of the biggest takeaways from this movie is underutilizing Rene Russo. She's so good.
Mhm.
We watched Get Shorty last year. She's great in that movie. She's great in the Lethal Weapon movies as kind of a foil to Mel Gibson in the later ones. Rene Russo is just so good. And yeah, she's just dressing. You're absolutely right. Like she's just super underwritten. And even, she does get a couple moments in here. It's one of my favorite line deliveries in this is when she says, you paid off to save your airline, why won't you pay off to save your son?
I had that written down as one of my favorite quotes. That was a really good one. I mean, luckily she had that. But even when she left, when she got the cryptic message to go to the church, at 2 a.m., and how could she have snuck out without anyone detecting her leaving? And there's no way that her husband would have not seen her go and been all over that. Like, where are you going? What are you doing? It just was so weird.
And I can't remember at that point in the movie, are the news cameras there too?
No,
like the news doesn't know about that yet?
No, it was a 2 a.m. meeting, and Gary Sinise meets her. He's all masked and everything.
Yeah.
And then he hits her, he beats her up a little bit. It was just, it was super implausible. I just thought that was, I don't know if they were trying to give her more to do there, but it didn't work for me at all.
It did seem like that. They were just like, let's get Renee Russo involved here, and because she's just not involved in this movie, and it is a little sad that we don't get more of her, because yeah, the one line that she's given, that's super power, like a great line in this movie, and but she doesn't get anything else from it, and I feel like she forgives him so easy, like
Too easily. There's no way. No way.
that's like my biggest question in this. I have it listed here on my like big question. Like, how long before they get divorced?
I mean, yeah, that I don't think any mother would go against the advice of the FBI for her crazy husband's idea. Especially, and then when she finds out that he actually did bribe, that official or whatever it was, that would really, I mean, then my trust in this person is gone completely. So it was all just it was super unfair, I think, to make her that weak.
Yeah.
In the story.
Yeah, when he is like crumpled up after he thinks that his son has died, and she goes out there to hug him, I'm
No.
like, hell no.
No,
You just
I
killed
hate
my
that.
son. Like,
Right.
we are not on the same wavelength here. Yeah, it really pissed me off that she was so like, I trust my husband. She even
But all
says
the-
that at one point. Like,
where was one or whatever something like that. But all the two female characters are pretty weak. I mean, you can't really count Fatima because she doesn't do much, but
she's the strongest character. She's the
yeah,
strongest
maybe
character.
so.
Fatima rocks. Yeah.
What was her name in the
Maris?
Maris? Yeah, Maris.
Yeah.
I mean, she was also just kind of. She started out strong as being kind of a badass, and then that sort of fell apart too.
Yeah, I don't know what they were going for with the character, and I think Lily Taylor does a fine job in that. But like, I never believed her relationship with Gary Sinise. Like, I never understood why she was with this guy or why she went along with everything, and how she didn't have any kind of empathy for the child. Like,
Right, that was hard to believe that the only one that had empathy was the younger brother. I mean, that was kind of strange.
yeah,
Because he's just a kid.
yeah,
And speaking of that kid, not to segue off of your, what we're talking about, but I thought he was not a very sympathetic, like as far as his physical appearance, he wasn't a really cute kid.
yeah.
And I thought, God, I would cast like this kid that you just want to do anything for to rescue. And this sounds really superficial, but what I looked up who he was because I saw his last name was Nolte, and he's Nick Nolte's son.
I wondered, he did like, he looked a little Nick Nolte-ish.
Yeah, and so there was some nepotism probably in that casting and he wasn't a bad actor, but
No.
I just didn't think he was the best choice as a little kid that you immediately fall in love with and want to see saved. I was sort of like, he's kind of a homely kid.
Yeah. Do you think like a younger kid would have been a better choice, because that would have given us a little bit more sympathy towards him?
Yes, he was a bit big. He was a little, unwieldy in the bed. He was so cute. A little smaller kid, but maybe it would have been too terrifying to have a really little.
Yeah, that's the other thing. And that's, I did read in some of the research I did that like several people passed on the Gary Sinise role because they were like, whoa, you guys are hurting children in this role. I don't want to do it. So yeah, maybe the older is the way to go. But I agree with you. Like, I don't think he is as sympathetic. I mean, I'm sympathetic, but
Of course, definitely
Yeah.
sympathetic to the child. I just wondered why I didn't think he was the best choice. Not that I could name a child actor right now, but like a Macaulay Culkin looking child, someone like
Elijah Wood at that time,
Yeah.
maybe. Yeah. I agree with you. Any other scenes that really stick out? The other one that I want to talk about is that first exchange, like when they're actually going to drop when he's going off, or to drop the money off, and he's in the car ride. Gary Sinise is riding behind him with his his like Britney Spears microphone on as he's talking to him with the voice changer and going through the time machine storyline. That one, I liked that exchange. I liked their little dynamic of talking to one another there was really good. I thought more would come of it, with him realizing that he's being followed, or he has to be followed based on the walkie-talkie.
Yeah, I
nothing
wondered
really
that too. I thought that he might see him. I thought, because
Yeah.
he lagged, I thought he'd maybe they'd see each other or something. But I have to say that time machine discussion really resonated with me because I'm a big H.G. Wells fan. I read that book and saw, the old science fiction movie, super cheesy, corny, bad movie, but fun at the time. And so the Morlocks were terrifying. And both my kids used to watch Wishbone. I don't know if
I was going to bring up Wishbone. I swear to God.
So remember that episode with the
Yes.
Morlocks and Wishbone? My son says he still has nightmares about the Morlocks in that.
Yes.
But I was like, oh, I don't remember them talking about the Morlocks and the Eloys. And, I guess it's a pretty obvious statement about garbage and class and all that. But I did enjoy that little brief discussion and reference to Time Machine.
And it's one of those things that I think would make this movie a little bit more interesting and give you a little bit more POV from the, we'll say the Morlock perspective. Like, we don't ever get sympathy, I feel like, from their perspective. And I think there's a way that you can do that and be like, we're not sympathizing with the billionaire whose child just got kidnapped. We're gonna kind of understand the point of these 4 or 5 criminals or maybe they're not criminals even. I think there's a way that you can write that a little bit better and make a more interesting movie.
I totally agree. They were there. You have to, for the main characters, you have to have some sort of sympathy for them in some way, even if they're the bad guy you've got to have a little bit. And there was just nothing there. Yeah. And the only one that you like a little bit is the younger brother, when he gives him the chocolate and all that. But even then, it's like he's probably thirsty. Don't give him chocolate. Give him some water.
They're just like force feeding him like chocolate and cough syrup.
Oh, God, it was just
And I also thought that there was going to be a thing with like Cubby and him having like a cough.
I know it looked like that was coming, but no.
And then he just gets killed. It's not a big deal. Sorry, R.I.P. Donnie Wahlberg. It's crazy. Anything? I'm trying to think of anything else that to kind of pick out here, scene wise.
Well, the end scene, of course, the conflict of, is Mel Gibson going to shoot this man that he so desperately wants to kill? Is he going to do it, or will he stand down? Are the police going to shoot Mel Gibson? That it was really contrived, but I remember seeing it the first time and enjoying it. Now I was like, oh, this is just silly. But but it kind of worked back in the day. I don't know why, but now it didn't ring very true.
That guy was white. They weren't going to shoot him. So
that's right.
That's so true. Sad. So sad. No, the final showdown at the from the penthouse into the bank scene where they finally catch Gary Sinise. I did not understand how they were. Gary Sinise thought he was going to get away from any of this. That was so dumb.
He just should have asked for a wire transfer and laid low till he got his money and then quietly disappeared. It was just silly. The way he shows up at his house, it made no sense.
Yeah, did not love it.
They needed to wrap up the movie, so.
And they did, and there were some like weird choices made. They like kind of gray out the screen at the end of the movie a little bit. Like that's a weird choice. There's like a slow-mo through the glass at the antique store. Like it was just not the same movie to me in those moments. It was definitely going for more of an action thriller vibe at that point, and it didn't really work for me. You do have a fan in the chat apparently. My friend's son just saw and said he loves your hair. So.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. The first kidnapping is always hard. Who is that?
The first kidnapping is always hard.
Yes. Who's
Joseph?
Joseph. Okay. Hi, Joseph. I know.
he usually trolls the chat and trolls people that I'm talking to on here. He's pretty good at that. So, did you have a favorite character, or was there anybody that stole scenes from in this movie?
You know what? I thought Gary Sinise did a great job.
Yes,
Lieutenant Dan. I mean, it's got to be hard. What was first, this or Forrest Gump?
Forrest Gump was first.
Okay, so to come off of Forrest Gump, where he was such a beloved character, won an Oscar. I think, right?
Yes, or nominated. I think he was nominated.
He didn't win for that.
I don't think so.
But he was just such a likable, wonderful character, and then to do this so well, very believably. I thought he was really good. He was creepy. He was, sinister.
I have all those same things written down. I thought Gary Sinise's character was my obviously he's the bad guy, but like Gary Sinise is doing such a good job, and I even wrote down coming off of Forrest Gump, coming off of Apollo 13, which was the year prior to this, where he's a good guy. He's like the guy that basically gets the guys home from Apollo 13. That's his whole character arc in that movie, and then to come in and do something like this where he is like not an ounce of decency in that guy at all.
And never over the top with it either. He was just mostly quietly, very, compellingly evil. He was very good.
Yeah, there was and I don't think this was intentional, but I think he like knees Mel Gibson at one point and says, "This is for Maris." I never believed he even cared for Maris that much. He shot her. I mean,
yeah,
she shot him, but like
he didn't hesitate much either when he shot Maris. I think
No.
that worked out really well for him.
Yeah, it was very, very convenient for him. But I think it was such a wonderful character in this. I did have a soft spot for the FBI agent. I like him.
I agree. Yeah, he was up there with Gary, not quite as meaty a role, but I thought he was really, really good too.
Yeah, Delroy Lindo is one of the favorites on this podcast. Every time he shows up in a movie, we are all big fans of Delroy Lindo on here. So yeah, he is pretty great. Any lines that stuck out to you? I know we covered the one by Kate.
Yeah, the only two that really stood out were as we talked about, when Kate says you saved your airline, you paid to save your airline, and then just give me back my son. When Mel Gibson, those two are the rest. I don't know. There wasn't really. I tried to kind of rack my brain for more, but those were the two that stood out to me.
Not a very quotable movie.
No, maybe not.
Not really. I did like this was at the end scene, and it's Jimmy Shaker doing his monologue where he says, "We do what you say and we go to the bank. Anything goes wrong, you're going to turn around. I'll be gone." Okay. And if that happens from this day on, anytime your kid leaves this house to go to school, go play, see a friend, to buy a fucking comic book, you're going to have to ask yourself, and I like this, is today Jimmy Shaker Day?
That was actually, you're right. That was a good one.
I almost made my name Jimmy Shaker Day because I was like, today's Jimmy Shaker Day. I love that.
Nothing can beat sugar tits, though.
No, sugar tits is the ultimate line.
You're only allowed to call me that in this context.
Oh, I will never call you or anybody sugar tits. Biggest laugh, cry, scare, or thrill? Like the biggest emotional moment for you?
No laughing. I did not cry. I'm a tough nut to crack when it comes to crying. Takes a lot to get me to cry in a movie, and I can't even tell you what it would be that will make it happen. This one did not even get me close to tears. I was a little flat through the whole thing. I didn't get, and maybe because I watched it on such a small screen, I actually watched it on my phone.
Yeah.
So that could be part of it. I think when you're in a bigger, if you're with other people in a theater, it's a little different. And I'm pretty sure I remember the first time having a lot more of a thrill ride with it. So
yeah,
it could be that I already know the story too.
Yeah. I think like the biggest emotional moment for me, and you hit on it a little bit in one of the scenes that you stuck with you, was when Sean at the end of the movie, when he hears Gary Sinise's voice, Jimmy Shaker's voice, and it clicks with him. Like that did it for me. That in that moment, I was like, okay, kid, you're doing a good job here.
Yes.
So I wasn't so angry about him existing at that point.
I mean, honestly, wasn't the kid's fault.
No.
He wasn't bad or anything. But that was like I said, it's the only scene I really remembered from the movies.
Yeah.
That had a huge impact on me the first time I saw it.
Now, this movie does have some, not great moments. What's the biggest, like, most ridiculous moment or what the fuck moment for you?
I think I touched on it already when Rene Russo snuck out to go to the church at 2 a.m. There's just no way the FBI, with how many FBI agents were in their place, and her husband, and that just seemed ridiculous that she would get out and nobody would, question, where are you going at 2 a.m. And that was kind of kind of ridiculous. And the other, and just, this is just an overall observation, but I love Liev Schreiber. He's one of my favorite actors, and I didn't love him in this. I know he was really young, but I just he I've seen him do such good work afterward. This didn't seem that like his best work.
I agree with it. Yeah, I think he's very one note in this movie, just kind of
Forgettable,
yes,
just
very forgettable. Even of the criminals, like the Evan Handler character, most people probably know him from Sex and the City. The computer hacker guy was much more interesting. He had
yeah.
like things about him. He's got a drinking problem. I wanted to know like why that was a big deal at the time. Like I wanted to know more about that character. I didn't care about Liev Schreiber at all.
No, not at all.
Yeah, and
And
I do like him a lot too.
they kind of set him up as sort of the, he's the mastermind. He's, well, not the mastermind, but he's got this big criminal record. He, the two brothers, he's going to be the ringleader, and that just, none of that was fleshed out really. Maybe they did. Maybe there were too many loose plot ends that they couldn't wrap all these things up. But for him to just sort of be in that ditch when Gary Sinise throwing the dirt on him, I don't know. It seemed weak and not very plausible.
Yeah, it nobody really pushed back on Gary Sinise at
No.
all, and maybe it's because he's a cop and they're criminals, but yeah, like Liev Schreiber should have been a little bit more. Yeah, I agree with you. You're nailing it. You really are. And I like Liev Schreiber too. We get to see him. Another one of his we're doing this year is The Day Trippers. You ever seen The Day Trippers?
No.
I think it's a smaller like indie movie that came out here. It's a comedy,
Okay.
but he's great in it. Liev Schreiber's. I think Parker Posey's in that movie too.
She's good too.
Yeah,
Did you
that's a fun movie.
Did you ever see Ray Donovan? Did you watch that
I
series?
never did watch it, but I heard he's amazing.
So good in that. Just incredible.
Yeah, I'm used to him from the Scream series, even though he has a very
Right.
small part in the Scream series. He's a fun part. No, Liev Schreiber, he is really good. I should check out Ray Donovan though.
Oh, I think you'd like it. It's a really good show. I mean, it kind of loses its way a little bit, as often series do.
Yeah.
Down series season 4 or 5, whatever. But it starts out strong.
Yeah. Did you think it was a little ridiculous that I mean, I don't know the timeline of this movie, how long everything takes, but if they did any kind of investigation into that apartment where the kid is being held captive after the fact, like Jimmy Shaker's all over that.
Exactly. I thought he's got fingerprints all over there. How's he gonna? Why are his fingerprints all over everything if he just ran in and found the kid and he was rescuing the kid and that's it? That bothered me a lot. Like I thought that it would have been really interesting if they'd saved some time to have this suspense where they're starting to figure out that actually Jimmy maybe was involved. I think that would have been really interesting, and they
Yeah.
kind of blew it there.
Just kind of, yeah. I was like, there's too much evidence against him, and he will get caught a lot quicker.
Yeah.
And also, he's in the room with the child who has done nothing but listen to these people for however long they've had him. He didn't recognize his voice whenever he was like, "Hey, I'm in here with this kid. Everything's fine." So I would be like, that kid should be like, "Yeah, this is the guy."
This is the guy. Yeah, that did not work at all. I know.
Yeah.
You're supposed to just suspend belief, I guess.
And I think the other thing, like we kind of touched on it a little bit, like his motivation behind doing the kidnapping just never felt like as good as Gary Sinise is in this movie. I don't believe like Jimmy Shaker's motivation, like he's giving you the whole speech about the Morlocks and lesser and the greater. And I still don't like feel like that's what we're getting story wise.
No, he wanted money. I mean,
Yeah.
and that's not ultimately very interesting plot point. We all want money, but what drives someone to actually do that, to go to those lengths?
It
And
almost. Go ahead.
I'm just wondering, and why did they need the brothers? Like, couldn't they have just pulled that off? The two of them, with the more people you involve in anything like that, the more risk that something's going to go wrong. So, if it had just been him and what's her name again? The girl
Maris.
I can't remember that name for some reason. The two of I don't know. It just all of it. They just seemed sort of like the bumbling village idiot criminals.
Yeah, it makes a more interesting. It almost makes a more interesting movie and it makes Gary Sinise come off smarter if it was planned that way the whole time, where he was using these people and he was going to flip on them at some point to get like if he would have masterminded it a little bit more to where him and Maris actually, are going to save the kid and get the reward money or something. Maybe that would have been, but then you would have to anticipate that Mel Gibson's character is going to switch it to a bounty instead of a ransom. That might have been a little bit more interesting, but yeah, it just kind of sucked.
And they needed the hacker, I guess. They needed somebody with the computer skills, so I guess he needed to be there. But yeah,
the internet is not that hard at this point. And
I loved when the email came through. It was like email on that black and white screen,
and it spoke to you as voice to text. That was nice. I like that. Also, Tom getting away with a couple crimes, I feel like is kind of frustrating to me. Like, he's straight up told the FBI guy that he paid off the union to get the strike to not happen. Also, him shooting Jimmy at the end, like he shot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like that's like a Greedo shoots first kind of situation.
Yeah.
Like, I know that it'll play off as self-defense. It just felt a little weird to me.
I totally agree. And he, I guess they wanted to have that moral ambiguity in there, but it all didn't quite play.
Right. It doesn't always work for me here. So a little bit of plot holes there, here and there, and some motivations that I don't really love. Did you have a favorite like music moment or score from the score?
I love James Horner. I think he's done some amazing work. And I know he did work before with Ron Howard and Mel Gibson. I think I wrote down a couple that I looked this up. Oh, but I thought it was really interesting that Billy Corgan from the Smashing Pumpkins assisted him in the soundtrack. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was unique, like industrial instrumental cues by Billy Corgan. I was trying to find out what that meant.
Yeah, I don't really know where those came to play. And for me, a soundtrack should just enhance it enough that it makes the movie better, but I'm not distracted by it.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't distracted by any of this. So I felt like it drove the plot, and it, I loved the music because it didn't take me out of it. I just hate it when you see a movie that you're like, why are they playing that, the ukulele right now or whatever it is, it's like, stop. So I think James Horner is one of the best.
It's interesting. He wasn't the first one to
is
do
that
this.
Right?
Yeah, Howard Shore actually came on. Howard Shore is most famous probably for the Lord of the Rings movies. He did a full score for this movie.
Wow.
And he completed it, and Ron Howard said, "I don't like it."
Oh, wow, I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah, and so they brought on James Horner, and Billy Corgan, of course, did this in 2 weeks.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's a fun one. But James Horner, of course, worked with Mel Gibson on Braveheart, Legends of the Fall, such a beautiful,
wonderful,
score. It is good. Honestly, like there wasn't a moment in the movie that I can like pick out that the score really did. Like you said, like sometimes the score like changes things and like overtakes the film. I never felt like that. It did kind of just feel like it was in the background. And then I got to the credits, and I don't often like watch credits or like love to sit there and listen to, but the score pounded during the credits of this movie. I was like, what the hell is this? Where was this at during the whole movie?
It was weird because, like you said, all of a sudden it's like, okay, the movie's over. Here's the credits and this loud music and black, gray. It was so abrupt. It was very strange. It was like, we gotta wrap this up now. It's over 2 hours. 10 seconds here and it's done. That was odd. It was a very strange ending.
It was a very strange ending. Now, I don't have anything else here. Usually I do an F, Marry, Kill. I couldn't come up with a good F, Marry, Kill for this. And I feel bad. I'm not pulling punches here just because it's your first time on the pod. It was Ransom, and it's not as exciting of a movie.
It's always a fun game to play.
Yeah. But somebody asked, would you rather your son be abducted? Would you rather be kidnapped by Gary Sinise in this movie or Kevin Bacon on a river from The River Wild? Have you ever seen River Wild?
No.
Oh my gosh. Got Meryl Streep movie. It's actually a really good
Oh my
Really
gosh,
good
I
thriller.
did see that. That's another 90s movie, isn't it?
Yes, that came out, I
Oh my
think,
gosh.
93 or 94.
I
It's a
don't
great
remember
one.
it though, but I know I did see that. He's a bad guy. Does he kidnap her? Is that what happened?
Kevin Bacon kidnaps the husband, wife, and son on the
Okay.
river and makes them like go down these whitewater rapids together.
Oh, I do remember that now, just vaguely though. That whole era was I was having children, so things are a bit of a blur in the early 90s for me.
Yeah, that's what kids will do to you.
So I don't know. I think I'd choose Kevin Bacon. I don't know.
Yeah.
He seems less menacing to me.
I honestly though, from my memories growing up during this time, Kevin Bacon scared me for a long time
In that movie?
because of The River Wild. Now,
Okay.
I have come off that. I love one of my comfort movies to, like, if I'm sick or if I'm going to bed and I can't fall asleep, I'll put on Footloose. It's one of my favorites.
So good.
But I have come off the Kevin Bacon hate, but there for a while I did not like any of his movies. Hollow Man is another one where he is not a good dude,
No.
and I was like, nope, I'm not a big fan.
He's a good actor. He's so versatile. He can do anything. I guess I need to go back. I can't answer them because I don't remember how scary Kevin Bacon was.
He's got such like a, I don't know, he's got that like little upturned nose a little
Yeah.
bit. It's skull like. I don't know. I think he's a very like handsome man and everything, but yeah, he can be a little menacing, but he's also a cutie. So I don't know.
Yeah. Footloose. You got to remember Footloose when you're
Oh.
having nightmares about
That's
Kevin Bacon.
Him in Hollow Man is a scary one though. I do not like him in Hollow Man. Who do you think gave the best performance in this movie?
You know what well, I would say between Gary Sinise and what's our FBI agent's name? Delroy Lindo. I think the two of them were the standouts for me.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Those were my two standouts as well. I had Gary Sinise written down kind of number one, mostly
Yeah.
because it is such a diversion from what we saw. And he's got a little bit more range than
Definitely.
Lieutenant Dan.
Lieutenant Dan, which he was wonderful in that too. But it like you said, with the Apollo 13 and all that, this was a big gear shift.
Yeah.
It was
And
well done.
I wish, like, I don't know. I know Gary Sinise ended up going into like TV after this and doing CSI for a little bit. And now he's like, I don't know, maybe super conservative. I don't.
Yeah, I get he is, isn't he?
Yeah.
I feel like he's not even on my radar. I don't even know what he's doing these days.
I think he does more with like the troops than anything because of like the Lieutenant Dan and like he kind of got connected with them. I think that's what he does a lot more of. So that's what I choose to believe. I live in that universe where he's just like that kind of conservative.
Like a USO troop support.
Yeah, one of those
I can
guys.
get behind that. I can
Yeah.
support that too.
Okay, so if we were doing a recast of this movie, and sometimes this is a little bit hard to do, but if I give us the option 96, if we could recast this movie in 96 or 2026, who would you choose, or what would you do?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Well, you know who keeps popping into my head is Liam Neeson, just because of the Taken movies.
Mhm.
You know, and I loved him in those. I don't think I've seen all the Taken movies.
I don't
but
think you need to. How many times can you do the same plot, right?
the first one I thought was really good, and
Yes.
I did have a phase where I really loved Liam Neeson on screen. So he could step into this role pretty well. Maybe be a little bit more believable in the more emotional parts. Because when Mel Gibson's crying and kind of thrashing around on the balcony, it didn't really seem that believable to me.
Yeah. Well, I'll throw out another name. Hot
Yeah.
name coming out of the 80s into this. Kevin Costner.
Oh, I used to love Kevin Costner too. I mean, Dances with Wolves, and he could have done this. Yeah.
He might be a little too close to like Mel Gibson in giving us the same thing. Like
Right.
it might be just a little too much of the same thing. I just know from that time period, again,
Right.
going back to growing up, my favorite Robin Hood movie was the Kevin Costner one. And so he could do no wrong in my book.
I really loved him as an actor too. Field of Dreams.
Yeah.
That was such a good movie. He could have done this. You're right. I know we're going to get off this, and I'm going to think of a couple really good,
That's
good
okay.
names. But
You have a better Jimmy Shaker?
Ooh.
I have a good one, but he actually turned down the role because of the child endangerment stuff.
I was going to say, what about Kevin Spacey? Was he an actor then?
Ooh, yes, he was. Very much so. And he played a bad guy twice before this.
And
So
he ended up kind of being a bad guy. So,
yeah.
I think he's an amazing actor too, despite his personal flaws. He's done some good films. He's been a good bad guy.
I had Ray Liotta written down.
Oh, Ray Liotta, but he's so gangster. I don't know.
He's got that, but I feel like he's played a cop before and played a cop that's like not a good cop. I'm trying to think of Copland. And if he was a good cop in that movie, or if he was kind of playing both sides, but I would like, he's got kind of an evil face, even though I think he's super, charming as well. But he actually turned down the role.
He did. Interesting. Okay. Well, I think it turned out well for Gary Sinise. I mean, he had an opportunity to really stretch his acting chops.
Dennis Quaid, Steven says in chat, maybe for the Mel Gibson role.
The Mel Gibson role, potentially. Yeah. Another guy that went a little crazy, but
That's it. We're just naming like conservative actors that
went off the rails. He's my sister lives in LA, and she saw him, I don't know, like 10 years ago or something in a restaurant. And she said he was so good looking. She said he was just like, everybody was looking at him, men, women, everybody just thought he was beautiful. That's my Dennis Quaid story. That's all I can say. Y'all just naming the worst people.
It's true. It's so true. That's what we had to pick from in the early 90s is just like the worst of the worst. And again, we go back to like, we didn't know that these people were bad people then because we didn't have the internet and body cams and all these things that show people at their truest nature. So
yeah, it's true. And maybe, when you're looking at art, is it better to know all of that or not? It's a debate, right? Like Michael Jackson, his music is tough for me now. But I still like some of it. Some of it I just can't help but like it.
I saw something that said that Michael Jackson was actually up for the role of Jimmy Shaker. Right?
Okay. Well, he's scary. That's different kind of scary.
It changes this movie drastically if Michael Jackson is the bad guy in this movie.
That's hilarious.
That's a good one. That is a true. 2026. Can you think of anybody nowadays?
So who did my favorites that I wrote down? What? Oh, Ed Norton could be a good. Either one. He could be the good or the bad.
Yes, he really could. I was thinking about him for the first one, but no, he could be a really good Jimmy Shaker.
Because American History X, in the beginning, he's just so awful. And I think he's just such a talented actor. I think he could do either one.
He just came off we had talked about Primal Fear earlier this year. Have you seen Primal Fear?
The old one with Robert De Niro. Yeah.
He's
in the theater long time ago.
So good in that movie.
He is such a good actor. I love him. He's definitely one of my favorites.
He's a weirdo too, but most actors are, I guess.
I'm an actor. You saying I'm a weirdo?
No.
Anybody who calls himself sugar tits can't be completely normal.
That's so true. I'm trying to Joaquin Phoenix, could he be like Jimmy Shaker today?
Definitely. But he's a little
older.
You'd have to rein in his he's so weird. I think of him as the Joker and stuff. He's just so much. But he's a fantastic actor. He could totally do it.
Yeah. Joaquin is one of those guys that he also kind of has like a split career too.
Mm-hmm.
Like he used to do like very normal roles. And then like after he did Johnny Cash, he was like, I'm just going to go off the rails and be as weird as possible. I'm going to make a documentary about my life and I'm going to grow my hair out. That was
That was
weird.
crazy. Yeah.
And then Joker, of course, that we get. So yeah, he's a fascinating actor, but kind of
Maybe
too.
hard to believe him as a someone who could pass for a normal detective, which I thought Gary
Yeah.
Sinise did a really good job of. He would have been believable in the police force as a normal police detective.
Yeah.
Was he a detective or just a police officer?
I think
Whatever.
I don't know. I feel like he was a detective. He wasn't ever wearing like the blues or
No.
anything. So
So probably a detective. So
yeah.
but I'm not sure Joaquin Phoenix could. I think everybody think he was a weirdo, but maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah. I couldn't. I was thinking Matthew McConaughey maybe is like the Mel Gibson role. Somebody that's
Okay, that's someone who's not on my favorite lists. I did love Dallas Buyers Club. I thought he was incredible in that. But overall, I don't love Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
Not a huge fan of Matthew McConaughey.
I didn't get sucked into the True Detective.
It was good.
I didn't like. Everybody kind of fawned over Matthew McConaughey for a few years there with the Dallas Buyers Club and True Detective and everything. I didn't like want to fully. I like the side of Matthew McConaughey that I like about the Mel Gibson side, like his little comedy chops that he can pull out and like charm that he can pull out. That's the part of him. I don't know about the other part, but the charm and the humor is the part that I like about him.
I agree with you on that. And who reminds me of him, like a younger kind of upcoming version, is Glenn
Powell?
Yeah.
And
I don't like him either. He just seems fake to me. I don't.
He is picking bad movies. I think.
Twister and stuff. I mean, he's just not doing it. And what was that terrible romantic comedy with Sydney Sweeney?
Oh gosh, Anyone But You.
Bad.
Yeah,
that was supposed to be like Taming of the Shrew or something. And I don't see the Shakespeare in this at all, but okay.
Yeah, that movie is not great. I will say I do like Glenn Powell. He's in a movie that Richard Linklater directed called Everyone Gets Some, which is kind of like a pseudo sequel to Dazed and Confused. Didn't get a lot of play. It's like about the early 80s at a college. Texas college baseball team. He's a great side. I think Glenn Powell is a great side character.
That's probably what he needs to be, is not the main. He just shouldn't be the lead.
Yeah.
Well, I consider that. I'm sure he's not all bad. It's just more that good old boy kind of acting. It doesn't do anything for me at all.
Yeah, I get it. No, you're nailing it. That's a great comparison. Him and Matthew McConaughey that is a great comparison, especially with the Richard Linklater thing there too, with Dazed and Confused, and
I didn't even know. Yeah,
they are pretty much the same person. He'll have a renaissance eventually, and he'll get an Oscar, I'm sure.
Probably.
Did you do any research? I know you barely got time to watch this movie because of the streaming issues. Did you have any time to look up any fun facts or anything?
Well, the only thing that the one that I mentioned was Nick Nolte's son. I thought that was sort of interesting that he ended up as Sean. And then I kind of went down a Nick Nolte rabbit hole.
That is not a good rabbit hole to go down.
Well, he was good in this. I remember him as a little kid, in the 70s. He was one of the top actors, and he made some great movies like Prince of Tides with Barbra Streisand.
Mm-hmm.
What other facts did I find? I guess maybe not as many as you would have liked, Cody. I think I failed.
Oh, no, that's okay.
I failed.
You did not fail.
I looked up Ron Howard movies that he directed because I generally like his movies. I just think and I like him. I don't know him obviously personally, but I just like him as a person. He's very likable.
How can you not? I feel like, we all, like, everybody kind of, like, I don't know about maybe like generations ahead of mine even, but like you grew up with Ron Howard. Like I know some, like my parents obviously with the Andy Griffith Show and everything, but like Andy Griffith, Happy Days, and then he starts moving into directing movies, and some of those movies are movies that we still like, Apollo 13 and The Paper, and him working with I don't know if he did Mr. Mom or not, but him with Michael Keaton, I feel like they had like a nice little.
Did he do Mr. Mom? I
can't remember if he did Mr. Mom or not, but that would have been around the time he started
He did
No,
A
that
Beautiful Mind. That was a fabulous
yes,
film.
fantastic movie.
Cocoon. What a fun movie that
Oh,
was.
Cocoon was a
Cocoon.
huge for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So oh, and wasn't there was a sci-fi movie he did. What was his sci-fi? Maybe it was just Apollo 13. I was thinking there was something else, but I don't know. Did you ever see American Graffiti with Ron Howard?
Yeah, I forgot
Boy,
about that.
that was, I mean, that was an amazing movie. Just all that music and everything. What a crazy time.
And he just seems like Splash. That's another one that he
Flash,
directed. I forgot about that. Gung Ho, Willow,
Willow.
Willow, so good. He's a great, like, I don't know. The movies that he puts out are very fun, popcorn movies.
They
At times.
are.
But like, I can see from even in this movie, I saw it. I was like, he's trying to do big things, like artistic choices with this movie. There's a lot of reflections in this movie. And like they use a lot of mirrors in this movie, or the next there's a specific scene, I think it's the shooting scene with Sean, where it's like you see Mel Gibson, you see Gary Sinise, you see Rene Russo, you see Maris, a lot of reflections in this movie. And I was like, oh, you are trying to do something artistic with this and not just trying to give us something that you've given us before and just shooting straight on. You're actually trying something a little bit, and it makes me want to go back and watch some Ron Howard movies to see other choices that he's made
I feel
along
like
the way.
this might not have been the movie though to try to do the artistic stuff. Like
No,
you want this to be a thrill ride, so so I'm not sure those landed super well, those choices. Because like you said, at times it didn't feel like a thriller.
no, not at all.
The Dark Tower. The Dark Tower. Okay.
He did a Star Wars movie. I forgot he did the Han Solo, like one-off movie.
I forgot that too.
Yeah. It's very interesting to look at. He's got a lot of different things on here. Some really great, like you said, A Beautiful Mind, Apollo 13. These are movies that are Academy Award winning movies or nominated movies. And then he's got some just fun popcorn movies like The Grinch.
The Grinch, I forgot about
The
that.
Grinch is so good. Here's a fun fact I got about Ron Howard as we're on the topic. He went to school with Rene Russo, and he admitted in an interview that he had a crush on her, but was far too shy to ask her out. And then Rene Russo later admitted that she also liked him in school, but she never acted on it.
Did they end up together? No.
No.
Ron Howard's daughter's a good actor too.
Oh, I love Bryce Dallas Howard.
She's really good.
Want her to get more opportunities.
No, tough for women. I mean, she's probably in that age. She's probably aged out now, even though she's not old.
I feel like she got like that other redheaded actress that I am blanking on right now, kind of like bullied her out of the way a little bit.
Younger one, like because Julianne Moore's older, but
yeah. Jessica Chastain. I feel like Jessica Chastain came in and was like, "Get out of here, Bryce Dallas Howard. I've got this under unlock."
Redheads are bullies, just in case my daughter's watching.
They also don't feel pain as much as we do. So
that's true.
As us normal people do. Mel Gibson needed an emergency appendectomy in the middle of this production. So they had to take some time off so Mel could get that done.
My gosh, I didn't know that.
Crazy. And at one moment, I think 8 minutes into the movie, Tom, the Mel Gibson character, suggests John Smith as a good pseudonym to his son. It like entered the name under John Smith, which Gibson played John Smith in Pocahontas, which came out the year before. So,
and he even sings in that movie a little bit. Mm-hmm. That line, he didn't bumble it too bad.
No, he's not too bad. He's not too bad. Now, like a fine wine and dish, if you could pair this movie with another movie for a double feature, what would you choose?
Well, I said already that Liam Neeson came to mind as someone to play. So I think, if you want to see the kidnapping movies, you put these two together.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of an old. I guess they don't have to both be kidnapping movies. It could just be a Mel Gibson, Mel Gibson retrospective. Maybe see, watch the Liam Neeson style versus the Mel Gibson style of the father trying to get their kid back.
I like that. Do you remember the movie Bird on a Wire?
No.
That was I think it's a 90. I looked it up. Just looked up 1990. Goldie Hawn and Mel Gibson movie, and it's an action movie and it's a comedy movie. He's in witness protection, and somehow gets involved with her, and it's like a romantic.
It rings a bell.
Yeah.
I probably did see it, but I don't really remember
We
it.
definitely recorded that, or my aunt recorded that off of HBO on her VCR, and I've watched that a lot when I was a kid. Loved Mel Gibson as a kid. I've got a couple more kidnapping movies to throw out there. High and Low is an old 50s Akira Kurosawa Japanese movie.
Oh wow.
It got remade recently by Spike Lee. It's called Highest to Lowest.
Okay.
I think that came out with Denzel in the like father role of a child getting kidnapped. So I have not seen the Spike Lee version of it yet. And then there was a Bruce Willis movie that came out in the early 2000s called Hostage. And this movie really, and that one has to do with an actual like child being abducted, not a like grown adult son being abducted.
Okay.
And then the Lethal Weapons that include Mel Gibson and Rene Russo.
Those were fun. Yeah, those were great movies.
Yeah. Anything else coming to mind?
What else did I write down here? My quick little notes. I think we covered a lot. No, I think I've made all my points. This has been super fun.
No, I've had a blast talking with you. Now we do the ratings of this movie.
Yep.
We do a rewatchability rating. Like, how likely are you to watch this again? It's basically a yes or no. Am I going to rewatch this? So, how likely are you to rewatch this movie?
Well, I did rewatch it.
Yeah.
So let's base it on the first time I saw it in the 90s. I would have absolutely said, yes, this is a great movie. I'm going to watch it again. Now watching it, if this were my first time, I would say probably not.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really low on my rewatchability rating. Like it was fine in the moment, but yeah, I don't think I'm going to come back to this one. There better kidnapping movies have been made since then.
There are, and you know what though, if anybody does want to see it, August 4th, it's out on YouTube TV. So
yeah,
they're releasing it August 4th, so it'll be more streamable if anybody really wants to.
And we don't have to watch it through archive.org on our phones.
So I'd say no. Let's just say no.
Yeah. Now, if you had to rate it overall on a scale of 1 to 5, how many stars would you give it?
I'd give it 2.7.
Yeah, I like that.
Can't give it a 3.
It's too much.
Can't give it a 3. It doesn't. 2 is too strict. I think 2.7.
Yeah, I kind of like that. I went 3 just because that's what Letterboxd forces me to do.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, but I kind of agree with you. It's not 3-star worthy at all. But I'm right with you. Well, Michelle, thank you so much for doing this with me and hanging out and talking movies. We can do this again. There are many more movies till the end of this year, and then next year we'll have a whole new crop of movies to go through. But before I let you go, is there one movie that you would recommend that everybody go see or go stream or find or whatever?
Gosh, that's a tough one. One film, if I really had to say one film. This is going to come across crazy, but people need to see It's a Wonderful Life. That movie does so much for me. The ghost story part of it, the redemption, the opportunity to see what the world would be if you'd never been born. I just love that movie.
I love that. I honestly think that movie changes the age that you watch it. Like if you're watching it when you're young and because it's on TV around Christmas, you're like, oh, it's a fun Christmas movie and everything. But like the older that you get and like it changes and things, you pick out these little things about it. It's a Wonderful Life's amazing movie.
Well, it definitely, as you get older and you face adult challenges, you really sympathize more. When I was younger and watching that, I thought, what is his problem? Why is he being such a jerk? And then when you realize how hard life is, it's much more easy to sympathize with him. It's a little long. I think it goes on a little bit too long at points, but once they switch over to Bedford Falls becoming Pottersville, I am so in. I love that part of that movie so much. So
My only complaint is that Mary becomes a
Spinster.
a spinster at like the ripe old age of like 29 or something.
I know, that's so funny. And
Poor Mary.
They tried to make her look dowdy, but they just couldn't. She's too
No.
beautiful.
Yeah, she's amazing.
So that's
Well,
a weird answer, but that's what
No,
kind of.
I think that's a great answer, by the way. And don't listen to chat or read anything that chat is saying, other than the "we love Michelle" part. That's
Okay.
great. The other parts are just he's an idiot, so don't worry about it. Well, if you all want to keep the conversation going and you want to talk movies with us, you can join our Discord server. You can follow us on Instagram. You can check out my letterbox, see what I've been watching lately. I also make some lists on there. And next week we're actually starting a new theme here called Cody's Choice. That's me. Where every movie is a movie of my choosing from the year 1996. They're all movies of my choosing, but for this one, these are some of my favorites or things that I want people to watch because I think they're important. And next week's my birthday, so I'm choosing one of my favorite movies from this time, and that movie is called That Thing You Do. A little Tom Hanks directed movie about a one-hit wonder band. And I don't care if anybody doesn't like this movie. I love this movie so much and have a lot of stories around it. So we'll be doing that one. And we'll actually be live next Monday on my birthday at 6 p.m. because I have plans on the Sunday before. So
I will be tuning in more now that I'm, now I
now
know.
you're used to it.
I didn't know really the format. Steven has told me about it. It sounded really cool, but I don't want to miss out. So
Yeah.
I will pop in from time to time as a commenter.
I love it. And you can be as trolly as everybody else on here as well. Well, thank you all. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you all so much for tuning in and participating in the chat. We'll see you next time here on 52/1996. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. And we like to say, be nice to women. That's how we end things here. Be nice to women, everybody. It's an important
for
thing. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
We spun the reel through desert storms and courtroom cries. Love letters burned, planes went down, truth hid behind the lies. From snowbound crimes in Fargo streets to agents running wires, we laughed with Gilmore, screamed in masks lit theaters on fire. It's 52/1996, let the credits